Alright, so this week we're making this adorable Kiwi keychain, and I want to talk materials to make sure you have everything you need to get this thing done. I'll keep this here so we can kind of see. So first and foremost, you're going to need some yarn. Actually, I always start with my crochet hook. Let's do that. So 3.5 crochet hook. Y'all know that's my favorite. Stitch marker, yarn needle, scissors, and you will need a keychain. I don't have an extra one next to me, but you're going to need some sort of keychain. You don't have to use the one that I'm using. You can use a claw clip. You can use whatever you have on hand. Let's see. You will need some polyfill. Looks like that. You will need, I think the last thing we need is actually yarn. So I use 4 different colors of yarn. So I use white for the center here. I used green for the flesh of our kiwi. I used a brown for, like, I don't even know what it's called, the rind, the peel, the outside of the kiwi. And then I used a black, and I don't have black in front of me, but I used a black for the actual seeds. You won't need a lot of black, you just need a little bit of a tail to get your seeds in. And I think that's it. So let's go ahead and get into the actual tutorial. Alright, so let's start with the center of our kiwi, which is right here, and that's going to be in our white color. And so we are going to do, for row number 1, a magic circle. And in that magic circle, we are doing 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and close our magic circle, and then row number 2 is going to be a row of increases. That means 2 single crochets in each stitch. That's 1 single crochet, and then in the same stitch another single crochet. That's called an increase. So we're doing that all the way around. Okay, so I've come to the end of row number 2, and we are actually going to change to green on our second single crochet. So this is my first single crochet, and then because it's an increase, I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to pull up my green now. So go ahead and do that color change. And I'm going to cut this white, get it out the way there, move my stitch marker, and row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase. So I'm just going to go ahead and get situated here. So 1 single crochet and then an increase in the next stitch. Let me just find my next stitch here. Increase in the next stitch, and I'll show you that one more time. And you can see, if you watched my channel before, I crochet over my tails just so that I don't have so much work once we're done. So 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we're doing another single crochet, and we're doing that pattern all the way around. Alright, row number 4 is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. 2, and then increase. Let's do that one more time together. 1, 2, and then an increase. And we're doing that all the way around. Alright, row number 5. Oh, row number 5 already? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, row number 5. Good gosh. We're doing 3 single crochets and then an increase. So kind of the same as before, but only 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. And we're going to do that all the way around. Alright, we're done with our increases, And now we're going to do row number 6, which is 1 single crochet in each stitch. So at the end of this round, we're actually going to change our color to brown. And we're literally just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back here. Alright, so let's check our progress. So right now we have done the white center part of our kiwi, and we've done the green part. So right now when we start row number 7, we're going to switch to our brown to do like that rind or the outside of our kiwi. And so when we're done with row number 6, we're going to switch to our brown color. So just like we changed our color before, let me go ahead and find my brown here. Where's the end of it? There it is. So we're going to change to our brown, and then rows 7 through 9 we're going to continue with 1 single crochet in each stitch. So go ahead and do your row 7, 8, and 9 with the brown, 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then meet me back here so we can continue with row number 10. Alright, so this is what we're looking like so far after 9 rows. Row number 10, we're going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease, and this is going to help us to bring it in. So we currently are about here, so we need to bring it in so that we can close off. So for row number 10, we're doing 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So that is 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3 single crochets, and then we're going to do a decrease. And you're doing that all the way around. Alright, row number 11, we're doing 2 single crochets and then a decrease. 1, 2, and then a decrease. Let's do that again. So 1, 2, and then a decrease, and we're going to do that all the way around. Alright, and our very last row is row number 12, and that's going to be 1 single crochet and then a decrease. So 1 single crochet and then a decrease. 1 single crochet and then a decrease, and we're doing that all the way around. Alright, and so we are done. So what we can do now is take our stitch marker out. We can cut our yarn, leave a pretty decent thread or tail because we're going to use that for attaching our keychain. So this is what you should be looking like so far. It looks kind of deflated and a little bit weird, but what we need to do is go ahead and stuff this guy. So just take your polyfill, and we're just going to stuff this so that it looks pretty similar to this. So where it's stuffed enough to where it keeps its shape, but you can't see the white poking through. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff mine, and I'll meet you back here once I'm done. Alright, so this is what we're looking like so far, and we should have a big gigantic hole on the bottom. And how we're going to close that hole is we're going to take our yarn needle and go ahead and thread it, and we are going to weave our yarn needle into every other stitch in our row number 12. So what that looks like is you're going to go in one stitch, come out another one, into the next one, out of the other one, in, and then out, all the way till you get to the beginning. Just like this. And then you're just going to pull and watch that hole close. Just like that. And if you have some polyfill that gets stuck like in there, you can just kind of like adjust accordingly. And so what I like to do is I like to go another round, just because it makes the hole a little bit tighter and it helps the hole to stay closed also. So I just go one more round of kind of weaving in and out, pull, and you see how it stays closed now. And I do have some polyfill that I need to clean up, but that's like not the end of the world. We can fix that later. Alright, and so how I'm going to close this off, I'm just going to pick a stitch, go under that stitch, loop that to make a knot. And then what I like to do is when we did our color change, it created a little bit of unevenness in the colors. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and go into that bottom like stitch where the unevenness starts, where we change that color. And I'm going to attach my key ring there. And for me, I actually need to change my needle because the yarn needle that I was using is a little bit too big to go through the holes of my key ring. So bear with me as I thread another yarn needle. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the bottom chain of my keychain, and I'm just gonna weave in and out of the stitches to create kind of a solid anchorage type situation so that this key ring doesn't come out. And so I'm literally just weaving in and out to create the anchorage, just like that. And then I can just go out in an arbitrary place, pull pretty tight, and then I'm gonna go into an adjacent stitch, just like that, and create a knot. Now this thing isn't going anywhere, but if you watch my channel before, you know that I like to be extra secure, especially for keychains, and so I'm gonna do that again, just to be sure. And then come out in an arbitrary place, doesn't really matter where, and cut my yarn. And we're about 95% done. So our key ring is all attached. Now we just need to add the black so that it looks like an actual key. You see how we add the black to this one? All right, so let me get some black yarn. Okay, so I just cut off a piece of black yarn, not too long, because we don't need that much, but I'm just gonna go into somewhere in the brown, some arbitrary place. And the seeds that I put on this one are pretty arbitrary, but I started pretty close to the white, and then I went a couple rows down and did another round of the seeds in, you know, the rows closer to the brown. There is really no pattern to this, it's just more of an arbitrary placement, but I'll show you just my process right now, and I'll kind of talk through it so that you can maybe duplicate on your end. So I'm going into the row or the space between where our white meets our green, and I'm just going to pull up, leave some space so we can knot in the end. I'm going to go one row down, so like right there, and then come up somewhere else where that white meets the green and do the same thing. It honestly would be a really good placement right here where we did that color change, because the colors are a bit uneven. We didn't do our join and chain one so that the colors are even, because, you know, I want this to be as beginner friendly as possible. But let's just do that right there. You see how it kind of hides the color change a little bit. So I'm doing this about 4 times around. Again, no specific like stitch count or anything like that, because nature is pretty arbitrary, right? So I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna go down about, let's see, so about 2 rows down, and I'm gonna do the same thing around this row too. So go 1 row down, and then I'm just gonna put seeds all along. 1 row down. I'm just coming up in arbitrary places. There is no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. There we go. And this one I kind of went a little bit further down to make it even more random, and I think I like that. Okay, and so I'm gonna come out in that same stitch that we went in, and I'm gonna knot. I like to knot mine at least twice, just like that, and then we're gonna hide our tails. And the way I do that is I'm just gonna go in and then just come out in a different position like that. pull this a little bit, and we're done. That's it, y'all. Okay, so we are done, and this is what our Kiwi keychain looks like. So what else can you do with this pattern? So obviously you can change the color. So for me, when I was playing around with the pattern and creating it for you all, I did a darker green, and it was giving me, I don't know, not really Kiwi vibes, but I kind of dig the darker color. But that's all that to say that you can change the color if you want to do something cool, like a yellow kiwi. I've seen those around. You can do something really funky like purple or whatever. Have fun with the colors. Another thing, you can change the color and the type of keychain. So I did the regular generic silver like ring keychain. You could do a claw clip, you can do gold, you can do whatever you feel the need. The other really cool thing you can do with this pattern is you can make it into a different type of fruit. So you don't necessarily have to stick with kiwi. If you want to make it like an orange or whatever, you can keep the white center, make the green part orange, and then maybe even make the brown a darker orange, and then create some lines for the slices of the orange. So I mean, there's a lot you can do with this thing. Your creativity is the only limit you have. So hopefully this was cool, and a continuation to our quick and easy series. Hopefully it didn't take you too long. I had a great time making this pattern for you and filming it, so hopefully you had just as much fun following along and making your own. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you're staying up on information to keep you and your family safe. There's a lot going on in the world right now. And don't forget to crochet something cool this week, and I will see you back next Monday for another tutorial.